How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope you're thankful, healthy, content, blessed. If you're not, if you're going through something, if you're facing some type of a challenge or a difficulty, please remember God is ready and willing to listen to you, to help you. Just pray out to Him, cry out to Him, pray to Him. He's a loving Father and He's willing to help you and listen to your prayer. Just gotta do is keep it real. Be real with God. He'll be real with you. He is a loving, kind Creator um, and Sustainer of our lives. So if you're facing a challenge, please remember, reach out to God. He's ready and willing to help you. So I hope everybody's doing good. Um, Thank you very much for being here with me, Frank Reacher. Welcome back to my channel. This is Reach. This is where we get to reach in, reach out, and reach up. Your time is very valuable to me. Thank you very much for being here. I hope to be a blessing to you. Hope to bless you with some insight, some wisdom with these topics that I touch on. Real quick, again, the links. Check out the links to my wife's store. I have links to my courses, links to my counseling webpage. If you need anything, please don't hesitate. Don't think about it. Just call me. Let me know how I can help you and we can talk. So I'm continuing the topic of responsibilities. Okay, I'm continuing the topic of responsibilities. I just did another one. I did one on responsibilities of YouTubers. And I've been thinking about, well, this is the one I'm going to touch on today. I've been thinking about making this one because this one hits home. It's personal to me. So I wrote down I put 7 responsibilities for ex-convicts, ex-gang members. If you're an ex-convict, if you've been locked up, if you've done time, if you're an ex-gang member, if you're no longer active, or you've grown out of it. I wrote down 7 responsibilities that we have. Okay. And I thought about it and I said to myself, if we're alive after everything that we've been through, then we have a lot to share. We have a lot to give, to our community, to our family, our loved ones, And again, I believe that a reminder of our responsibilities always allows us to keep everything, to stay focused on our life, to stay focused on what is required of us. When I was out there in the streets, gang banging, I got into the gangs 1988, 89. I made it to state prison in 94. Got to the feds. What year was that? Around 2003. So I knew what my responsibilities were living that lifestyle, and it kept me sharp. It kept me on my toes, and I didn't need anybody to remind me of my responsibilities because they were instilled in me, in my heart, in my mind. I reminded myself, and not only that, but I also used to have a lot of challenges where I had to live out these responsibilities. I'm sure, again, if you're ex-convict, if you're an ex-gang member, you know what I'm talking about. It's these things that you carry within you. How to act, how to carry yourself, how to do things, how to behave, how to there's just a lot of responsibilities in that lifestyle. So um, now that I'm no longer, and I really thank God for this. I'm no longer part of that life. That life is past, and it's let go of me and not let go of it. But I still have responsibilities because God has allowed me to live this long. So I know I have responsibilities still. I have a responsibility to share my wisdom. I have a responsibility to share my insight, my experiences, to help others. That's my responsibility. You know, if you've been through it, you've gone through it, you survived it, and God has blessed you to still be alive, you have these responsibilities. You know, starting first with who? With those around you. If you have kids, cousins, nephews, uncles, whoever it is, you know, you have a responsibility to keep them out. You have a responsibility to make sure that they don't uh, make bad decisions, that they're going to pay the consequences. And, you know, a lot of people, man, especially a lot of people are doing time, you know, and we have a responsibility to reach out to them, you know, encourage them, telling them to stay out, telling them to do the right thing. So we have a responsibility. I believe I have a responsibility to not leave people the way I find them. Okay, this is something personal to me. If I run into a homie, if I run into a person that's struggling with something, a person that I can see, that I can tell that they're not doing the right thing, my responsibility is to not leave them the same way that I found them. And now you might say, man, well, that's intrusive, you know, you shouldn't, you know, let people do their thing and you did your thing. I wish I had people like myself. And I did, as a matter of fact, I did have, you know, these were older homeboys that would correct me. You know, you know, we all had people that showed us the ropes, people that told us how to behave, how to act. Um, and to me, it's not intrusive. To me, it's caring. It's part of me showing you that I love you, that I care for you. And just simply, you know, from one human being to the other is, look, you need to stop what you're doing, man. You know, you're hurting yourself. So again, to me, I have a personal responsibility to not leave people the way I found them. You know, I had it in my past. I had too many people give up on me. I had too many people tell me that I had no cure. I had too many people look at me and say, man, that's a lost cause. Too many people give up on us. You know, too many people give up on the youth. Too many people just say, that's, and they just let you be, you know. But a lot of the times people, I don't, it's not good. It's not right for us to let just people be, you know, especially if they're hurting themselves. I remember, you know, fighting my addictions, man, when people would just shake their head at me or be like, man, you're still at it. And they didn't help, you know, they didn't reach out. They didn't do anything but just hook me up, you know, gave me money for more or whatever the case was, you know. So I believe that if you're an ex-convict, if you're an ex-gang member, I think it is your calling. I think it is your life's purpose, you know, to make a difference in someone's life, to make a difference in the younger generations, you know, and not to leave them to their own destroy, you know, their own, to not leave them in the way that they're destroying themselves, you know, but to be that voice of change in their life, to let them know, like, look, man, you don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to go down this route no more. You don't have to go back to jail, or, you know, you could better yourself. You know, there's a lot. It's a responsibility that I believe that all ex-cons and all ex-gang members should uh, embrace. You know, embrace these 7 responsibilities. Okay, so I'm going to share these 7 responsibilities. Okay, so check this out. Number one, the number one responsibility is that we have to commit to personal rehabilitation. What does that mean? We have to commit to personal rehabilitation. That means that we have to invest in personal growth. We have to spend the time to deal with our past, to deal with our mental health, to deal with our addictions. We have to invest in personal growth. A lot of the times we think we've bettered something or because we're not around it no more. But you put me in the right situation with the right people, and who knows if I'm going to, go back to the same things. But I know that for a fact. I know that while I invest in personal growth, that personal growth is going to become the person that I'm going to be. And I'm going to be stronger. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to be wiser. I'm going to be, uh, just the very, very best version of myself when I invest time to grow personally. That's one of the key responsibility for ex-cons and ex-gang members to keep growing. Change your vocabulary, change the way you dress, change the, um, where you hang out. There's a lot of bad habits that okay, yeah, we don't do those things no more. I don't hang around. I don't do this no more. But there's still bad habits that we carry within ourselves that are destructive, habits that don't benefit our family, habits that don't benefit our future. Um, we have to develop healthier behaviors. That's part of growing up. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I think I see it too many times where an ex-con or an ex-gang member, they take the credit and they think that they did it themselves, you know, and you see this arrogance about them where I honestly believe I honestly believe they didn't go through the real hard stuff, you know, because I've seen the people that have really gone through. They're humble, they're real humble. They're not, they're willing to reach out. They're really willing to make a difference in your life, So we have to develop healthier behaviors. Uh, one if once we once we commit to personal rehabilitation, once we start investing to our personal growth, it's going to reduce the likelihood of us going back to that lifestyle. You know, I've learned so much from so many different aspects of life, things that I thought I would never be interested in. But I've learned so much from things in my faith. I love to keep learning. I love to read. I love to, these are the kind of things that motivate me now. And it's very unlikely for me to go back to that, you know, to the way I was. It's very unlikely for me to reoffend or to catch time because that's not me no more. Because of my investment in personal growth, I have grown up to be the total opposite person that I was before, you know. So I think that's one of the key responsibilities for ex-cons and ex-gang members. The number two has to do a little bit with number one. The number two is we have to pursue education. We have to. Now we get to live the life we wanted without bad influences, without being surrounded by or being caught up in bad situations with the wrong people. Now we've outgrown it. We're in a better place. We might have our own families. We're raising our kids. We're in our marriage. We have, we're living that life. I'm very blessed to live the life that I'm living right now. But I'm also very strict about pursuing education. And there's nothing that we can't keep learning, you know? And again, this is going to change your character. It's going to change the way you think. It's going to change the way you behave. Because as long as you're pursuing education, you're growing, you're evolving, you're becoming a new person. Okay? Because you have to understand that education makes a difference. Okay? When you gain knowledge, when you gain insight, when just as simple as it sounds, education makes a difference. You know, uh, you could even seek out to learn a new skill. You know, you can seek out to learn a trade, a skill, maybe even start a business. Education uh, can be very beneficial. Education can be a very big blessing in your life. You come, you become so good at something that now you're getting paid for it. You get so good at it. You dive deep into this education, and now you're starting to see the fruits of the education that you've learned. Now you're good at it. Next thing you know, you become an expert. Next thing you know, you're teaching others the education that you've gained. So I believe that it's a key responsibility for us that have lived that criminal life, that have had that criminal mindset, that have been in prison or active in gangs, is to now uh, have that responsibility to pursue education. That's very, very important. At number three, I put, we have to have meaningful employment. What does that mean? It means we have to support our family. That's one key responsibility, that a lot of the times the way we made money, the way we did things, it was fast, it was easy, and now we have to be responsible to have honest, meaningful employment, so that we can support our family. I know that, I mean, I'm not wealthy, I'm not, so I always have this hustle mentality. That's why I like to educate myself. I learn about microeconomics at a lower level. How microeconomics makes there's a lot of money in microeconomics. At the bottom, where like the swap meets, like these small businesses, a one or five people person business, like having a trade, like an electrician, a plumber. There's a lot of money to be made in that kind of economics. So number three is be responsible to have a meaningful employment, because once you have a meaningful employment and you like what you do and you're getting good, you're working hard for your money. Now you're able to rebuild your life, you know, and rebuilding your life is a journey. It's not just something that happens. I'm reliving my life, and it's still a journey, and I'm very conscious of that I have to keep learning. I have to keep sharpening myself. I have to keep learning and educating myself, because I wasted so much time, and it's like I'm playing catch up, because I see other people doing great, man. They're successful, they're blessed, and now I feel like, man, I gotta catch up to that, you know and I don't have to. I'm not trying to keep up with anyone, but these responsibilities help me to understand, help me to stay focused, help me not to go back to my lifestyle, help me to help others around me, and I share this stuff the same way. These responsibilities, I also share them with other people. One of the things I always ask, so what do you do for work? you know why? Because a meaningful employment, you're going to be an example to others. You know, I got a couple of homies that are electricians. I look up to them because that's a skill. That's a good paying trade. You know, so number three is to be responsible. To have a meaningful employment, and working a 9 to 5, being honest. That's part of us that have been locked up or being active. That's a good responsibility. Number four, I put, we have to mentor at risk youth, or even our own peers. I have homeboys that are still going in and out of jail, and we're in our 50s. And I'm like, hey, what's up? What's up? Ah, man, he's locked up again. What? Really? So we have to mentor our peers, those brothers, or the people that we know that are still unable to shake that lifestyle, and are still, you know, not doing as best as they could, or they haven't been able to shake that lifestyle. And we have to mentor those new generations, that are coming up, and I really feel that the new generations really, they need people like us, because I don't think they're getting the same kind of schooling that we got. You know, I was very blessed to grow up with people that really cared, and they they looked after you. They taught you the right from wrong. And I see and I notice that a lot of these youngsters don't have anything solid. They don't have anyone to speak truth, and they're living different, they're talking different, they're dressing different. And I know things change, but I honestly believe that these new generations, they need us. They need us to remind them of uh, what being a solid person means. How to live, how to carry themselves, and stuff like that. So the number four thing is very important, that our responsibility is to mentor other people, to help those that are in danger of following in the similar path. Again, we can't encourage that. We can't be okay with people getting time and doing life and getting caught up in things. Nah, it's we know that it was a waste of time. We know that it wasn't worth it, you know. And now we're blessed to understand that, and we've been through it. So we got to look at them and say, hey man, let me offer you some guidance. Let me let you know what happened. Let me let you know what's gonna happen if you don't make that change in your life. You know, it's a very important responsibility for us. And I put number five is rebuild family relationships. And this is something that's very, very important, because, you know, when we're doing time, it's not just us doing time, it's our moms, it's our siblings, it's our family that's doing time with us, and they're the ones sending us money. They're the ones being there for us. If we're in there, if we're eating right, it's because somebody's taking care of us out here. And a lot of the times we get out and we don't even care about those relationships, you know? And this is another responsibility that we need to understand, that we need to build our family relationships. You know, we have to be a critical source of encouragement. We have to be a critical source of encouragement. We have to be there for them, support them the way they helped us, the way they supported us. We can't just, again, oh, I made it by myself, I'm here because of me. No, absolutely not. Somebody helped us along the way. Somebody supported us along the way, and we didn't get here just on our own. There was a lot of people involved in who we were back then, and now we got to fix these relationships. Now they have to see that we're not that same person, that now instead of us asking, now we're here to give. Now we're here to support. Now we're here to encourage. Um, so that's the fifth responsibility, is rebuild family relationships. Number six, the sixth responsibility for ex-cons, ex-gang members, I put, is get involved. Um, get involved. How? Just be an OG. You know, if you've been through it, you lived it, you're in your 40s, 50s, be an OG. Get involved. You know, if you're still going to the barbecues, if you're still hanging out, if you're still good with the younger generation, if you're still, what I mean by get involved is help people that are, still might be dealing with addiction, still might be, maybe they lack education, maybe they don't know what to do or what decision, or, when I say get involved, is be part of that. Uplift people, uplift them. And you know how you lift someone up, and to jump over a wall or a gate, you lift up others so they can see what's beyond what they're living. Lift them up a little bit, and show them and say, look man, you can do much better than what you're doing right now. Again, because a lot of people, we don't get involved. A lot of people are, you're busy doing your thing, you forget about, you don't want to deal with it, you don't care, you're just like whatever. And a lot of, oh, well, I made it, well, that's on them. We have siblings, man. I mean, we know people that are still involved, and we got to get involved. We have to get involved. It's something, it falls on us. We have that responsibility to share uh, the good things that we have now. The number 7 responsibility I put is practice accountability. Okay. What does that mean? It means regularly evaluate your actions, your motives, check yourself. Am I helping others? Are my actions contradicting, to what I'm trying to help people do? Um, if you're a believer, if you believe in Jesus Christ, are you growing in your faith? Are you, um, are you maintaining that clear mentality that you started with? you know Practice accountability. What does that mean? It means to constantly be evaluating yourself and say, where am I going? How am I growing? um, am I doing everything that I should be doing for others? um, Again, because a lot of the times we just forget and say, well, that's on them, they're going to do their own thing anyways, they're not going to listen to me. And again, we just stop caring. So if we practice that accountability, we're going to see others grow. We're going to keep growing. We're going to catch ourselves, um, if we're doing something we're not supposed to be doing. We'll catch ourselves. Why? Because we're regularly evaluating our actions and our motives. Look, these responsibilities for ex-cons, ex-gang members, these responsibilities that I share, and I'll go through them again. Number 1, commit to personal rehabilitation, invest in personal growth. Number 2, pursue education, pursue a skill, a trade. Number 3, meaningful employment, honest, hardworking, to take care of your family, to take care of your responsibilities, be an example to others. Number 4, help, mentor, offer guidance, strengthen others that are at risk, that are younger than you. Number 5, rebuild family relationships. Again, the people that did time with us, make sure that we're rebuilding those relationships. Number 6, get involved. Wherever you go, again, don't leave people the way you found them. Don't pat them on the back and be like, oh, good to see you, bro. And they're hurting themselves. Nah, we have to get involved. Number 7, practice accountability. Regularly evaluate your actions, your motives. These 7 responsibilities, guys, the look at approximately 2/3 of ex-convicts are rearrested within 3 years. Okay? That means that over 50% of ex-cons, listen, 50%, over 50% of ex-cons return to prison. They return to prison. Why? Because they don't give themselves responsibilities. You know, they say to themselves, I made it, I'm out, that's it. But they're not making any effort to change. And again, remember, when you understand your responsibilities, you understand where you're going, you're focused. You understand what's going on in your life, and you know what you need to give. You know how you should behave. You know how you should be living. You know, and again, without responsibility, you're just like a loose cannon. You don't know where you're going, and you don't care. You know, and again, I'll repeat this. This is more than over 50% of ex-cons within 3 years go back to prison. These responsibilities embrace change. They embrace change in your life. They embrace change in your family. They embrace change in communities. Okay. Um, well, thank you very much for being here with me. Again, thank you Thank you for being here with me at Reach. I hope these 7 responsibilities, if you're an ex-con, if you're an ex-gang member, these responsibilities embrace change, you know. And I think it's a very good thing to remind ourselves of our responsibilities as men. Thank you very much for being here. Hope I was a blessing. Stay positive, stay encouraged, reach in, reach out, reach up. Thank you, and see you next time. Be blessed.